When you're standing in the kitchen looking at a shiny new range, the first thought is usually, will this actually make my cooking better? Or am I just paying for a pretty front? That hesitation is real, especially when the price tag isn't cheap and the specs sound like a marketing brochure. I've spent a good chunk of time comparing a handful of 36-inch gas ranges, reading what people say about durability, flame control, and how the oven really behaves when you're trying to bake a batch of cookies or roast a turkey. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What follows is the kind of practical rundown that helps you decide whether the ZLINE 36 inches 5.2 cuffed 6-burner gas range with convection gas oven actually fits your kitchen and your cooking style without the fluff. First off, the ZLINE isn't trying to be a budget appliance. It's marketed as a professional-grade piece, and the build reflects that ambition. 6 burners are spread across the cooktop, each described as Italian-made with auto-reignition. In the real world, that means you get a reliable spark the moment a flame goes out, which is a safety win if you're juggling a pan of simmering sauce and a pot of boiling water. The dual-function burner is the one that most cooks end up using for both high-heat searing and low-heat simmering, thanks to a brass core that distributes heat evenly. If you've ever tried to get a perfect crust on a steak while keeping a sauce at a gentle bubble, that flexibility can save you from having to move the pan between burners. The oven side of the unit is where the convection label matters most. A 5.2 cuffed cavity that fits pans up to 26 inches wide isn't just a marketing number, it's the difference between being able to roast a whole chicken on a sheet pan and having to split it across 2 racks. The convection bake mode circulates hot air, which you'll notice when you bake multiple trays of cookies, they finish more uniformly than they would in a static oven. The same space also houses tubular bake and broil burners made from stainless steel, so you can switch from a low and slow roast to a high-heat broil without worrying about hot spots. I've seen a lot of home ranges where the broiler is an afterthought, but here the broil element sits right above the oven floor, delivering a quick, direct heat that caramelizes a steak's exterior in minutes. Now, let's talk about the things that can trip you up. The first is size. A 36-inch footprint demands a dedicated space, and the black matte door finish, while striking, can show fingerprints and smudges more readily than a traditional stainless slab. If you have a busy family kitchen where kids are constantly reaching for the handles, you might find yourself wiping the door more often than you'd like. The range also carries a weight that usually necessitates professional installation. Trying to slide it into place yourself could risk damage to the floor or the unit. That adds a hidden cost that many first-time buyers overlook. Another practical consideration is the lack of a self-cleaning feature. The stainless steel interior tolerates a good amount of heat, but you'll still need to manually scrub away splatters and spills. For heavy bakers who regularly work with sugary glazes, that can translate into extra elbow grease each month. The rating on Amazon hovers around 3.8 out of 5 from a very small sample of 6 reviewers, which suggests that while many owners are satisfied with the core performance, there may be a few pain points that haven't been fully captured in the limited feedback. Who should actually walk away with this range? If you're a serious home chef who values precise flame control, enjoys the flexibility of a dual-function burner, and frequently bakes or roasts large items, the ZLINE checks a lot of boxes. Its convection oven will shave minutes off cooking times for baked goods and give you that even browning you get in a commercial kitchen. The sturdy stay-put door hinges are designed to support the full weight of the heavy door, so you won't be fighting a sagging lid when you open it after a long roast. And if you appreciate a sleek, modern look, especially the matte black door that sets it apart from the sea of stainless, this range delivers that aesthetic without sacrificing functionality. On the flip side, if you're renting, have limited floor space, or are looking for a low-maintenance option, you might want to skip this model. The installation requirements, the need for regular manual cleaning, and the lack of a built-in self-cleaning cycle can feel like extra chores. Budget-focused shoppers may also find better value in a 30-inch gas range that offers comparable burner performance, but without the premium finish and the larger oven cavity. And finally, if you rely heavily on electric-only features like a steam bake or a built-in griddle, this eccentric design won't meet those needs. In everyday use, the ZLINE's strengths become most apparent during multitask cooking sessions. Imagine searing a pork chop on the high-output burner, then sliding a tray of roasted